Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing...
In this bulletin, families disown former inmates. Ngaloa head teacher abandons position. And bogus surveys remain a challenge.
From the studios of FBC Suva.
Accepting villagers released from the Fiji Corrections Service back in the society has been a challenge for the Nadroga Navosa provinces. Nadroga Navosa Provincial Council head Timothy Nawaimbalavu says they want to rectify this and are working with the FCS on the way forward. Sainian Imboila reports.
The villagers are refusing to accept their family members who finished serving jail term.
We should know that they are our very own, our children, our blood. We need to learn to accept them when they are released by the Correction Service.
Nawaimbalavu says it's about time families learn to give former inmates a second chance.
The Council has established ways forward together with the Fiji Correction Service, and this needs support from families and loved ones to help these former inmates to get back on track with their lives.
Fiji Corrections Service Commander Francis Keane says some inmates from the province will be released on parole to undergo training.
6 children under our care will be training in Nassau next month. This is part of an agreement with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They will be staying with their families. This is the first step we are taking as we prepare for their release.
The Fiji Corrections Service is providing relevant business training and helping sharpen other skills of inmates to prepare them to reunite with their families. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
A new head of school will report to duties at the Ngaloa Island Primary School in Bua today. Education Minister Rosie Akbar says it's unfortunate that the previous head teacher left the school without notice. Akbar says the ministry was made aware of the situation at Ngaloa 3 weeks ago. She adds this is a challenge as many teachers leave without informing the ministry. The minister says when the issue comes to the HR, processes are followed to appoint new teachers.
Yes, we are aware of the situation. Unfortunately for us, after Ngaloa was rebuilt by the Australian Defence Forces, and when we started classes, a few weeks later, there was complaints from the villagers regarding the head of school. And without our knowledge, the head of school abandoned his position. And it was later brought to our attention. So the head of school is seen as deemed to have resigned.
Akbar says currently 7 students at the Ngaloa Primary School are looked after by 2 teachers. She says that due to less number of students, they hold composite classes. Bogus surveyors continue to dupe the public by offering cheaper rates to provide services. The registered surveyors gathered in Suva yesterday to find solutions to the challenges faced by them. Dipesh Kumar has more.
These surveyors are finding difficulty in dealing with unregistered surveyors.
So you ask them what you want. So then you go, sorry, now I want to get my pegs defined. Okay. Then we said, why? No, you want to know whether it's an encroachment or not. So if it's encroachment, then I know I have to do a drawing and give to the client so they can be more cost effective. But when we give them a good price and they say, oh, somebody's like, for example, I say $1,000 and they say, oh no, somebody doing for $200. Oh, how can you do that?
Narayan says their priority always is to educate the public on what they need to focus on when hiring surveyors.
So this way we have to tell them, hey, go, who's your surveyor? Who's going to do the work? You know, things like that. That's all we can aware them. That these things have been happening and I'm a registered surveyor, I do my own work, things like that.
Fiji Institute of Surveyors Vice President Jiten Singh says many students are not completing their studies.
In the last, I want to say in the last 6 months, we've had 4 surveyors graduate, which is a huge number. So yes, we're trying to do that with the help of the University of South Pacific and FNU. They're coming out as graduates and we're helping them become surveyors.
There are 42 registered surveyors in the country, with 10 working for 11 ministries. The institute is reminding people to engage with registered surveyors to get their land surveyed. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
More young farmers are showing interest in joining the dairy sector. Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited Chief Executive Kushmendra Prasad believes the increase in milk price has made many youth keen to invest in the sector. Dipesh Kumar reports the milk price increased to $1.05 per litre in February last year.
The farmers used to get 87 cents per litre of milk, which was not enough to cover their cost.
It attracts a lot of farmers to come back for dairy farming, because they are able to now sustain the cost.
Prasad says they are also relooking at the operation of smallholder farms.
If the smallholder farms need some assistance, we will case by case help out them, and we will set a target of 60 litres milk production.
Permanent Secretary for Agriculture Ritesh Das says commitment from farmers is vital. He adds farmers need to ensure that the milking herd is properly fed.
Fiji's current milk production or milk herd lack proper nutrition. This is attributable to a relatively high cost of feed concentrates.
The calf grower feed will now be subsidized for farmers through a memorandum of understanding with Fiji Dairy Limited, whereby farmers will have to pay only 50% of the cost. The FCDCL currently has 38 commercial farmers, of which 8 are highly qualified. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party has welcomed the initiative by the government to bring in AstraZeneca vaccine for Fijians. SODELPA leader William Ngavoka says it's crucial to take the jabs, as it is one of the main requirements in the world today. Ngavoka says this will help Fiji get back on track.
We need it, and people in Fiji should stop all this speculation by fearmongers. No, the vaccine is required in this country, required by everyone in the world today to help us overcome this COVID-19 threat.
The Fiji Excellence in Tourism Awards winners say the event was a morale booster for them. With the tourism industry at a lull, these recipients say the awards have given them hope to strive forward. Fiji Pride champion Kinichechi Sarai has been serving in the tourism industry for over 3 decades and says tourism is part of his life since childhood. Sarai worked for the Outrigger Fiji Beach Resort and says he was always encouraged to use his style to market Fiji.
I was the activities manager at the resort, so I got to talk to people first up with my work and explain the inner things of Fiji culture, which many do not get to get when they go on tours and stuff like that. So.
Up ahead, first loss for Nadroga in DPL, and National Sevens players continue to impress. Stay with us.
Oira na ngone no de nunu enda bisi ni mataka.
Mersu sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitar lo bina na baksa ngai ka wala lo mataki na ngone. Dalo bina oya o meliki.
Bulre oya o Samuel Samuli.
Nama kiki rau enda be mataka.
Boniti kena bagrombuka.
Ni wai tiri kalima na miniti me ono kina tiri na kaloko. Ena radio Fiji One na ndomo ibiti.
Pinda pinda na mataka. Dan ramai na singabo.
Nadroga suffered its first loss in the Digicel Premier League in round 3. The side went down at Lawanga Park in Singatoka in a dramatic 1-0 encounter against Mba. Mba was leading 1-0 heading into the last quarter of the match when former Mba goalkeeper Isikeli Sevanaya, who is now playing for Nadroga, claimed he was fouled by Abu Zaid. Sevanaya and Zaid exchanged a few words before the young goalkeeper had battered the veteran Mba player. Zaid had to come off as he had a cut above his forehead. He later went back into the field of play after being attended to by the Mba medical team. Nadroga coach Ramesh Sharma says Sevanaya was provoked.
It was temptation from the other guy. Throughout the game, he was trying to make comments at the goalkeeper, and I think unfortunately he just could not handle the pressure and the temptation.
Mba coach Kamal Swami says his players' discipline was intact.
Our players were very disciplined today. It was unfortunate that there were certain incidents where, well, we can say the referee's decision is final. But
in other matches, Suva defeated Navua 1-0 and Nadi outclassed Lautoka 2-0. Tali Materukula, FBC Sports. National Sevens reps and local players continue to impress national men's sevens coach Gareth Baber tournament after tournament. Baber says it's satisfying to see the players showcase quality rugby, even in deep, muddy conditions. He says this is the difference that puts the national sevens team above any other team in the world.
Considering the weather and the conditions in the field, I think that all teams put a real strong effort in. It's good to see some real good quality in the final there, and you know it's tough. People don't realise just how tough these conditions are to play, and it's good to see the teams going about their business as usual. There were some errors in it, but it was good to see certainly obviously the national reps and some of those boys pushing them.
It was a narrow escape for the defending National League champions Suva Football as they managed a 1-0 win over Navua. It could have been a 1-1 result if the Navua player hadn't been called for offside after placing the ball neatly into the net. The National Sports Commission is in talks with the Ministry of Health on increasing the capacity during sporting events. The 50% capacity restriction is still in place, and the Commission is proposing to increase this to 75%. Sports Commission Chair Peter Maisy says the Ministry will make the final decision.
Well, I'd like to see the stadium at 75% instead of 50%, so that's up to the Ministry of Health to make those rules. We want to find out from Ministry of Health their plans, and also we have to look at maybe starting up a sports bubble. We have been having discussions on that.
Mostly fine weather will prevail throughout the country today. There is a chance of some scattered showers in the main islands by late afternoon. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for Major Bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही हैं।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।